Hey everyone, welcome back to another video done by me, Christelle from Planning the Magic. I'm so excited that you decided to join me here and use my resource to answer your question, which is how much does a Disney vacation cost? So you're here because either you are considering going to Disney eventually or you're actually planning your vacation now. And you just want to find out how much it costs, where do you start, should I go, when should I go, can I go, that kind of stuff. And that's what I'm here to answer because that's a common question. How much is it going to cost me? And that's usually, I think, the first question that someone asks themselves or their partner when they're considering going to Disney. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. What I'm going to say is grab a paper, grab a pen, so you can write some notes down and you can follow along. You can always rewatch this 105 times if you want. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always excited to answer any questions. But yeah, let's get started. I want you to be able to look at my notes while I'm talking. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to get you onto my notes. Let me see here. If I try some Disney magic, I did it. This is awesome. All right. So you have my notes in front of you. This is so exciting. So how much does a Disney vacation cost? Again, planningthemagic.net. I have a ton of cool resources on my site. But yeah, let's get started. So a Disney vacation can be broken into 6 categories. And those are kind of the categories that you want to mentally have in your head to figure out what this is going to cost. And those are going to be getting there, getting around, accommodations, food, tickets, and more, or etc. So getting there, how are you getting to the Orlando area? Maybe you live in Florida or you live in Atlanta, you're driving. Maybe you live in New Jersey or New York, which I think takes up the majority of people that go to Disney, believe it or not. And you have to fly, or you still have the option to drive. So you have options there. Or you live in Canada or in the UK. So you have to figure out how you're getting there, getting around. So once you're there, how are you getting around? How are you getting to the parks? How are you getting to food? Stuff like that. Accommodations, where you're staying, food, what you're eating, tickets, obviously theme park tickets, and then the etc. part. So money that you are spending on those cute little Mickey ears or other things like that that you can't necessarily plan for too much. But yeah, we'll get there, and we'll definitely talk about it. I'm super excited. So I think the first question that we need to ask ourselves is how much does a domestic family vacation usually cost for you? I will say for me, it's only 2 of us, and if I am going somewhere where I don't have any family that live there and I'm not visiting family at all, I want to say probably around the $2,500 to $3,000 mark. If it's an international vacation, we'll sometimes spend up to $6,000, and like cruises, we'll spend like $2,500. So take that number, and for me, like I said, it's 3,000. Maybe if I was a family of 4, it might be like 4,000 or 5,000, but not sure, depending on the kid's age. But take that number and write it down on that pad and paper that you went and you got. Because I want that number to be something that we think about, something that we consider. So take that number, write it down, and then put a box around it. So I'm going to write down here on my paper $3,000 and put a box around it. And let's keep going. And as we go through this, you're going to see that we'll get closer and closer to the magic. And it's going to be super exciting. I'm so excited to get you to Disney. But yeah, I'm going to write my number down too so you can see it here. Let's not get really too fancy here. I might mess a couple things up if I haven't already. All right, let's write that number down here. Okay, so that is a really little number for a really big box. Yeah, we're just going to leave it as it was because it worked. So first topic to take care of is how we're going to get there. And I mean, I think there's 2 main options here. There's either we're flying to Disney or we're driving or to the Orlando area. If you're flying, it's probably not going to be on that plane that's on the lower right, but that is a plane from the Disney movie, so I wanted to put it there to just give us motivation. You'll see a lot of random pictures here. Um, so I want to say, for me specifically, and you'll know better, and you can use a tool like Priceline.com to kind of figure this out. But flights from New Jersey to Disney can range anywhere from $150 to $400 round trip per person. And then driving costs anywhere like $200, $150, depending on the type of car you're driving. So I think it's really important to think about how much you're willing to spend, your sanity. So it's like a 16-hour drive from here, and I've done it, and it's not the most fun thing ever. It's not impossible either. So it just really depends. So you have to decide whether flying or driving is for you, and then what that average cost is going to be. So if it's $300 round trip per person, or it's just a flat amount of $200. And for those of you, who want to consider driving, I would use AAA gas calculator, which you could just type that into Google. And they'll use the type of car you have and where you are to kind of put together how much gas you'll be spending. And then there's of course tolls and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's where we are with getting there. Next up is accommodations, and there's 6 options for this. And these options are going to be either you're going to stay off site, you're going to use something like Priceline or Expedia.com, book a hotel, a Ramada, a Hilton, something like that. And those hotels are usually anywhere between $30 to infinity, and infinity is always going to be our ending number here, because obviously there are resorts that cost a ton of money, no matter if it's a Disney resort or not a Disney resort. So yeah, $30 to infinity. Disney Springs resorts, and you might not know about these. I have a cool video about these. There are 7 Disney Springs resorts, and what they are resorts that are not operated or owned by Disney, but they are on Disney property in an area near Disney Springs. So there's a Best Western, there's a Hilton, there is a Holiday Inn, there's a couple of different options, there's a Wyndham, but you can watch my video for that, or you can just do a quick Google search and you'll find a whole bunch of information on those. Those are going to cost anywhere between $60 and again, infinity. On site, so a Disney resort specifically, those, I think the lowest I've seen an on site resort using maybe like a special is probably $80, and it can go up from there. $80 a night, and this is per night prices. Rent DVC points. So if you haven't heard of this ever before, that's okay. Really quick, DVC is Disney's version of a timeshare. You can rent someone's points. Maybe they're not using them that year, they're not going to Disney. You can rent their points and stay at a deluxe Disney hotel for about $110 a night. Depending on the resort and the time of year, it can fluctuate that cost. 110 is probably minimum. Really, really, really good value for your money. It's a Disney Deluxe Resort. I'm talking Bay Lake Tower, Grand Floridian, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Saratoga, Old Key West, that kind of thing. So if you're looking to rent DVC points, go to consideringdvc.com and take a look at what they have there. And then last but not least, there's the rental home. And a lot of people don't think about this. But at the minimum, $80 a night for like a townhome or an apartment, you can rent someone's home in the Orlando area and you can stay there. I would suggest using All Star Vacation Homes, their brokerage, that will put that package together for you. So that's going to cost, again, $80 a night. And going up into infinity, of course. So getting around the Orlando area, and you basically have 3 options here. You're either going to rent a car, or you're going to drive down and you have a car, or you're going to use Disney's transportation if you're staying on site, and guess what? That's free. Or you're going to use a combination of things. But let's talk a little bit about having a car in Orlando. There, of course, are going to be rental fees. There's going to be gas you have to pay for, tolls to and from the airport and on some of the highways, and then parking, which you can estimate to be $20 a day, unless you're staying at a Disney resort. At that point, even if you have a car, parking is free. So gas, tolls, rental fees, parking, or Disney's free transportation, or the last option I like to talk about is Uber. I love Uber. When I go to Disney, I don't rent a car. I don't like the liability. I don't like driving, and I don't want to spend the money. So I use a combination of Disney's free transportation, and when I go to somewhere that's not on site, I use Uber. Or even my last trip, I went to the boardwalk at Disney's Boardwalk Villas, and it was so late, and I had taken my grandparents to Disney, and they were so tired of walking around. I just called an Uber to take us back to our resort at Saratoga, and it was cost $6. So Uber is a great resource. I definitely suggest it. So just using a combination of those, and again, we're going to talk about total, like what this is going to look like total at the end. But again, a rental vehicle can cost anywhere between 150 to infinity. Tolls, I would put aside like $10 for tolls. Gas, anywhere between $50 and $100. Parking, like I said, $20 a day. And to give you an idea of fees for Uber, Uber within Walt Disney World will be anywhere between $5 and $15. You can head to Universal for about $25. It's not bad. I have a whole article set up on my site with a code that will help you get a free ride if you sign up using my code. And I'll get a free ride too, but that's besides the point. And you like how I emphasize the free there. So food is actually one of the most expensive parts of this vacation. I will say. I think there's three parts of a vacation to Disney that are expensive: getting there, tickets, and food. The best way to do this is to break it down by meal. After you break it down by meal, do your research. Super important. Look at restaurants in around near your hotel that are walking distance, whether that's offsite or at Disney. Look at a few restaurants at Magic Kingdom if you're going there. What do those prices look like? So, how much is it going to be per person? That kind of thing. For breakfast, I like to get groceries. That's just my thing. I like to eat breakfast on the go. It saves a ton of time, it saves a ton of money. It's just a good plan. Lunch we'll have, and then dinner we'll have out. Sometimes I'll eat lunch in the room, sometimes I'll eat leftovers from dinner. A lot of portion sizes at Disney are large, so keep that in mind. There are restaurants at Disney Springs that are a lot cheaper than the actual restaurants that are owned by Disney. So Earl of Sandwich, Rainforest Cafe, that kind of thing. But yeah, definitely do research. And so what I'm going to say is if I'm putting together a vacation, I'm not spending anything on breakfast. And this is, I'm using a family of four as an example. Maybe I'm spending 70, let's say $60 on lunch. That's $15 a person. And then maybe I'm spending, I don't know, let's go for 150 for dinner. Some nights I'm going to spend less than that if I'm doing like a quick dinner. Some nights I'll spend more if I'm doing a sit down, but it should average out at 150 a day. So that's kind of like what you want to do when you're doing your research and putting together your meal plan. Are you getting groceries? How much is that going to cost you? Don't forget, walking around the park, being on vacation, just naturally makes you hungry. You're going to want some snacks. How much are those going to cost you? So definitely think about those things when you're putting together your food budget. And then tickets, the third item that's very expensive for a Disney vacation. So I took this chart that I made, and it's right from my ebook. And this has 2016 prices, which will change soon because we're almost over with 2016, so I'll have to update this. I think if you see, the more you go for the more days you have on your tickets, the less it is per day. So definitely take into consideration that you're paying $324 for 4 days. You're only paying $30 more for 7 days. So definitely take that into consideration. And this is per person for an adult. So anyone over the age of 10. If you're over the age of 10, you're paying an adult price at Disney. If you're under 10, you'll be able to get a youth ticket, etc. This is going to be our spending kind of example. I like to go big when I go to Disney. I've also gone on a budget, and I didn't buy a thing while I was there, honestly. But I would set a per person limit. For your kids could be $100. For yourself could be 200. Figure out that limit and put it together, and that's your etc. limit. Give your kids a gift card, or hold a gift card for each kid. Give yourself a gift card. Put it on a credit card so you can keep track. You know, there's ways to do it, but this is a part of the vacation a lot of people skip, and this is the one part that'll get away from you very quickly. All of a sudden, you have $1,200 in charges. Who knows where they're from? How many Mickey ears did we just buy? That kind of thing. So you definitely want to take that into consideration. This part of your vacation, and then yeah. So we're gonna total this up here, and so let's do this. And see how much closer you are to Mickey here. He's just right in front of you. So let's bring it down to the total. And we're skipping that for now here. So getting there, let's say $200 each round trip. Accommodations $560, get around $40. That's me using free transportation provided by Disney, as well as using Uber here and there. $560 accommodations is for a 6-night stay at about $80 each. You can stay at Disney for that much money. Tickets $1,200. I chose the 3-day stay for it's like $300. 3-day ticket, which is $300 and some odd each. Food $1,200, and then etc. $1,000 for a family of 4. And our total here is $4,800. That can be a big number for you, but take a look again at that number you put in the box in the beginning. What is it? For a family of 4, $4,800. For a family of 2, we can cut this in half, right? So let's just put 7. Oh. We can cut this almost in half too. Let's put again 7. We can cut this in half. That's 500. And we can cut this in half. All right, and let me just do this math here. I would do it in my head, but if I did, it would be wrong. So I'll just pull this calculator up, and you'll get to see that. 560. Let's add those together. We have 1440, 500. 2880. And remember, I wrote $3,000 in my box, so we're right on the money there with that 2880. We really can't go wrong. Nonetheless, $2,880 for 2 people is still a lot of money. And that's exactly why I created my ebook. It is and it isn't why. Right now I have the 2016 edition up on my site for $9.99. In 2012, when I was halfway through college, I took myself and my little sister to Disney for less than $1,000. I was 20 years old, and I was 21 and she was 10. I was going to college full time. I was a sophomore or junior, and I worked my butt off an entire summer as a lifeguard to take her because she's very important to me. And my family was not able to help us at all. And I spent a year or more finding every tip, trick, and secret to go to Disney on a budget. Cheap Disney, Disney on a budget, cheap Disney vacation. We had the time of our lives. So fast forward a few years later, I'm now a Disney Vacation Club owner. I work full time. I graduated college a couple years ago, and I wanted to share my information with everyone else. I mean, super important to me. I think Disney's a magical place. It's one place that will always make me happy, and I wanted you guys to have access to going there, no matter how much money you had. And also, even if you have a big budget, you should be getting the most value for your dollar. So this is the book for you. So instant access, you can find it at planningthemagic.net/on-a-budget, or you could just go to the website and you'll see it somewhere around there. There's a link right in the top menu bar. But I really think this can help you. $9.99. I have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you don't like it, just let me know and what's wrong with it, and I'll give you your money back. No big deal. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me. It was pretty fun doing that little transition in the beginning. Let me know if you have any questions. There's a contact form on the site. And happy planning. Thanks so much.